Alrighty then. So I'm trying to bring up the stream, right? So I can see it on my side. I'm having to sit through 2 ads. Rumble. And I'm like, thanks, Rumble. Make me watch ads on my own stream.
Well, hey, get that bag.
But yeah, anyway, so welcome everybody. I hope you guys are having a fantastic night. Again, still my camera is having issues, so I am cameraless. If you want to see my beautiful face, though, you can either go to past episodes or go to Twitter X because it's there. It's also on my TikTok and other places. Joining me, as always, tonight we have the one, the only D-pad, Chad.
Hello.
And Meg's back.
I guess so.
She left us last night, or last night. She left us last Friday.
Hey,
it was horrible. She missed out on all the good stuff too. Like there were parts where I'm just like, and this is where Meg is raging now.
You know what? I listened to a little bit after I was kicked off and heard that my wishes were going to be thwarted. No, but yeah, no. I'm sorry, guys. I really didn't realize that was going to happen. But life sometimes happens. I won't do it again. Fine. At least not this week.
It happens. I mean, heck, sometimes we have to move it to Saturday, and then nobody knows. So you know. That's just how it works. I also think I might have fixed the echo, by the way.
Huzzah.
Because I have a virtual splitter because I can't afford a real thing. And the way I have Discord and stuff comes one way, but my desktop comes another way. But when they're both on the same thing, I think that might have caused the echo that suddenly started happening. So I swapped it back to where it's supposed to be, and it seems to be coming through fine on my end, but I don't know if there's going to actually be an echo or not, so we'll just find out. So yeah. Chad, anything?
Tech support in the chat there, so, you know, if you want to fix your camera.
Tech support in the chat. My camera doesn't work. Huzzah. Are you using the correct? Yeah, I've done that. Test your camera. Yes, okay. I tried to, and then it won't let me select it. It's another program. No, it's not. Try a different browser. Okay. Restart your browser and reboot device. That's happened every time too. Extensions. Nothing's disabling it extension-wise. I don't have any new ones. Our webcam, yes. Windows, yes. DSLR camera with StreamYard. You can use any camera your browser is able to recognize. Well, it already recognizes it. That was not helpful. Anyway.
Thank you for calling tech support.
Goodbye. So let's go ahead and get it. We got lots of things to talk about today, including something that I just was horrified by.
That could be so many things.
Do what?
Was it the amount of double posting you all did?
Well, besides that, it was also the amount of money Sony spent. Anyway.
Yeah, I did not expect that.
We will get to it eventually.
I absolutely thought that we would never visit this subject again, and yet...
Yeah, I thought we were done with it.
Yes,
really did.
Like the Phoenix or a zombie, it is back.
It is, but also what I thought we never talk about again is also back because Power World is getting Nintendo'd.
Ugh.
Yep. And well, I made my statement on X about that, but people are pretty stupid when it comes to this.
Well, just walk us through it then, man. Because I basically just know that Nintendo is mad at Jinky.
All
that
right.
Nintendo is mad at Pal World.
It's time to lore dump for Meg, the uninitiated.
The uninitiated.
Pal World released earlier this year. No. What'd you say, Chad? Is Roughnut doing a thing?
Roughnut's trying to eat my green screen.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, you didn't need the green screen anyway. So, Power World came out earlier this year, and to the surprise of everyone, it was a commercial success. This is a pseudo survival monster catching game.
Yeah.
Essentially you go catch monsters. You also have to survive and get, feed yourself, feed the monsters, build shelters, things like that. It's also been called Pokemon with guns because essentially that's kind of what it is. You capture monsters from balls, you get guns, you get to shoot them in the face.
You get to use them as ammo.
It was fun. It was a fantastic time. Well, the Nintendo stands were all up in an uproar over it. They were upset to the max. Nintendo's going to sue. Nintendo's going to sue. Here, look, they're infringing on their IP. They're infringing. Here's all the mons that look just like the monsters from Power World.
Except.
And then it turns out that everybody who was making, the best of cases on that, like there was a guy who was essentially like taking the wireframe models and putting them on top of other wireframe models from Pokemon, and they were matching up pretty decently, but they weren't a 100% match ever. Then it turns out that he was actually molding the models to make them match to begin with as well.
And he used one that was scrapped from Power World too.
Yeah, and he used one that they did scrap. Now, Power World did come out and say, which is Pocket Pair, they're the ones who published and developed the game, came out and said that Pokemon was an inspiration to them as well as other games, which is why you'll find things like the glider mechanic that's similar to Breath of the Wild in it.
Yeah.
They also wanted, they liked survival and stuff, so they put the survival stuff. They put guns in it because they thought Americans liked guns, which, I mean, they're not wrong.
That was a good bet. You best believe when we were playing, I was like, America!
And you, and the mons have like special abilities too. Like some of them you can pick them up and do things. Like there's a fox that is a fire type. You can pick up and use it as a flamethrower. You put it under your arm and turn it into a flamethrower.
That's hilarious.
You've got this little chipmunk leaf thing that will hop on your head, pop out a couple of Uzis, and start spraying and praying everything. It's fucking hilarious. But anyways, the Nintendo fans got big mad over it. They made their case. We countered it. And it's like, there's no case here. Plus, Nintendo is so on top of suing for IP breach that somebody took the time to make a mod to actually inject Pokemon into Power World. And instead of releasing it like any other mod as a free thing, they put it behind a paywall, and Nintendo came in within hours and wrecked their shit over it.
And
I
don't begrudge Nintendo for that one.
Yeah.
Like, it was a neat mod, but I'm also like, that's highly illegal because you're making money off of it.
Yeah, if they hadn't thrown it behind a paywall, it probably would have been fine. Nintendo really wouldn't have a case there or anything, but they stuck it behind a paywall, and Nintendo looked at them and said, no, and smashed them into a billion smithereens within hours or a day or so, something like that. It happened fast.
And most people, Power World or Pokemon side, were like, yeah.
But anyway, so the anti-Power World side kept saying Nintendo's going to sue. The rest of us was like, if they were going to, they would have done it already. Nintendo is finally taking the steps to sue, and it's not for IP. It is for patent infringement. Months later, like 6 or 7, 8 months later, however many months it's been since it released.
And the crazy thing is that a lot of Japan is on Nintendo's side, but I think that's because they're very, I don't want to say hive-mindish, but they're very like traditional. So if there's a established brand, Japan tends to default to the established brand versus anything new.
Yeah, we're our culture is more towards innovation, do it yourself kind of DIY kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Japan is more like, these are the rules what we follow, and this is how it goes. It makes for a very neat and orderly society, but
innovationally speaking, it stagnates.
I would think so, but I'm sure they have thoughts and feelings about us. But
Oh yeah,
I am Team America, so. But so,
no, that's perfect.
what is the patent on exactly?
We'll get to it because
Okay.
I don't know if that information's actually been released much.
But if you read through this, it's very hard to follow because they use the vaguest language humanly possible.
Well, see, essentially, we'll get into what they did here shortly. But Nintendo, together with the Pokemon Company, has filed a patent infringement lawsuit in the Tokyo District Court against Pocket Pair, who also the lawsuit seeks an injunction against infringement and compensation for damages on the ground that Power World, a game developed and released by the defendant, infringes multiple patent rights. Now, there was no major Nintendo Pokemon release when Power World came out. Power World sold like almost 20 million copies. I don't think they dug into Nintendo's pockets at all, and I would love to see the arguments they used to try and claim that Pocket Pair owes them anything.
Now, when it comes to a patent, isn't that on something that actually physically exists? Copyright is usually for IP, intellectual property.
Yes.
That's what physical thing are they mad about?
I can tell you.
Mechanics. Anyway, Nintendo
I can
will
tell you
continue
specific
to take
mechanics, and
necessary
you guys would
actions
laugh.
against any infringement in intellectual property rights, including Nintendo brand itself, to protect intellectual properties and works hard established over the years. I was going to say, is there anything else there? Because it's just that. Anyway, we need to see these patents or alleged infringement. Now, we made jokes about this during the first wave of people saying Nintendo's going to sue for IP infringement, right?
Yeah.
We made jokes that, if anything, they'll probably sue about the fact that they're using PAL spheres and saying, see, we have Pokeballs.
We
and
joked about
Pokeballs
that.
and PAL spheres are the same thing. And it's like, you do know there's a ton of different monster capture games out there. I mean, Shin Megami Tensei series has also been doing that for years with the demons and stuff, right?
Castlevania did that with Area of Sorrow, I believe it was.
Hell, what's the thing with Solid Snake again? Metal Gear. Metal Gear did that, where you had to capture the thingies in like its latest release or something too. Anyway, it was
but that would be copyright, not patent, right?
Do what?
That would be copyright. That's not this That's not this lawsuit. That would be a copyright lawsuit.
Yeah,
what is the patent? Okay, Chad's entirely too happy. You got to tell me, bro. I got to know now because this is making zero sense.
Okay, so
patents cover inventions and can cover UI features and other novel idea-like technologies and features.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of a game that actually did a patent.
Eventually,
the Nemesis system. There we go.
I'll tell you guys, but
yeah, there was a Lord of the Rings game. It came out with a Nemesis system, and they somehow got a patent on that. So nobody else can actually make a system to that, which sucks because they've never used it since. And it was the best thing about that game.
So they're trying to. Their patents that I've seen so far were a vending machine. So if you have a game similar to theirs, you're not allowed to make a vending machine or be featured on a vending machine, but they were. Power World was. That's, and it's very broad, very, very broad. Also, guns, shooting mechanics, where you have to press a single button to aim down the scope. That's one of their patents that they're claiming.
No.
Yeah. Yes, it is. So, Call of Duty.
I'm just like, no, you can't. No.
Every
Nintendo's like, no, we invented that. Xbox like, I'm sorry, hold on, let me get off
essentially what they're doing is, say you want to copyright or something the word awesome, or I'm sorry, who was it? The Fine Brothers. They tried to copyright the word react and the idea of a reaction video.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like that, something that you can't actually copyright claim or have a patent on.
Not enforceable.
That isn't enforceable or anything. They ran after. Apparently, why they were so quiet about all this for these months is Nintendo was quietly filing patents, various patents, just so they could sue them for it.
After the fact?
Yep.
After the fact.
Oh no, that's garbage. This whole thing is garbage.
Now
See, I
Japan
like
law
Nintendo
is different,
in general,
so I don't know how it's going to play out, and I really can't.
Same.
Well, this is true.
Make
but
a thing in the U.S. though, that would be no bueno.
It would be unjust and stupid, and that's pretty gross.
Now, here's the funny thing. You know what Power World could do to just complete show of dominance on this?
What?
They could move their company overseas, and then Pokemon would just have to sit and spin.
I think I would, but I mean,
they're not.
I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how easy that is.
They are Japanese. They will.
Yeah, they're in the same landmass, so this could get dicey. But apparently, Power World exploded on the scene in February. Patents about Pokeballs filed in May.
No.
Patents granted in August. Nintendo sues Power World the following month.
No, that's garbage.
That's BS. Is bullshit. That is Nintendo trying to destroy them for making. And the worst part about it, why Nintendo themselves is big mad about this, is the fact that people like me and others have been throwing them under the bus for every Pokemon game that they have released over the last 3 or 4 games that they have released, with the exception of, I think, Legends Arceus is probably people's favorites at this point, because the games have sucked so bad. You had first the Pokedex kerfuffle, where they were like, we're not going to port the entire Pokedex over to the Switch games because it's too much of a process and we just can't do it. It's impossible to do.
Because lazy.
Right?
Okay.
Now we're talking about 1,000+ different monsters, different mons, Pokemon at this point.
Yeah.
And on face value, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. They talked about how they were having to rebuild everything from the ground up for the Switch, and this is why they just don't have the time to do it. So this became the Dexit or something like that is what it was being called.
National Dex or something.
Where it turns out that not only did Pokemon reuse a ton of assets from the 3DS, they slapped a new coat of paint on it for the Switch era because the graphics are better on it. And they just reused the same shit. All the Mon's wireframes, all the movements, all reused assets from the 3DS.
Stupid lazy.
And people looked at it and was like, Nintendo, you said you were having to do it from the ground up. You've reused everything. Hell, you even gave NPCs the same movement as previous NPCs from the 3DS era. What gives? Oh, our bad. Well, blah 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 blah, and that was it. Then they released Sword and Shield, and that was divisive. Then they hired a couple of companies to release a couple of other games, and they worked on like Arceus and something else. I think. Oh, Let's Go, the Let's Go series, which utilizes the capture feature from the mobile game, which was the worst thing to do. And I love that game, Let's Go Eevee, because I'm a huge Pokemon nerd. The only downside is the capture mechanics suck ass because it's from the mobile game. It doesn't work the same. It's not the same. It sucks ass. When I have to work on trying to get Mewtwo for 15 fucking hours because he won't go on a fucking primer ball, when in reality, all I had to do was knock him real low, or put him to sleep or paralyze him and throw a ball real quick. Like, that's the first time I have ever used a Master Ball in my adult life playing Pokemon. I mean, I used the Master Ball back in the day for Red, and then I've never used it since because I've never had to because I understood how to catch Pokemon after that.
Is it?
Anyway,
I got
I'm a little
Nintendo's
pissy
reaction.
about that game because they ruined it with that. I beat the game and then never played it again, and I am one who will play Pokemon for months. Anyway,
Nintendo's reaction to being called out about that asset reuse.
Okay, where's it?
Private chat.
Make me bring up shit.
I can.
And get excited for next products.
Yeah, that's so. From what you're saying, oh look, there's a commercial, for a movie that I totally don't want to see.
Just consume product and then get excited for next products.
Yeah, it sounds like that they started basically resting on their laurels over at Nintendo with their Pokemon. They kind of started coasting and saying, "Yeah, but where else are you going to go to get Pokemon?" And then Power World said, "You know what? I bet we could do something that'll scratch that itch." Basically,
challenge accepted.
Yeah, they decided to scratch. They're like, "Oh, you don't want to scratch them. You just want to kind of like give them this really weak calamine lotion. All right, you know what? We'll be your huckleberry. You know, we'll do it." And they did. They scratched the itch that Nintendo had just been sitting on and just kind of letting people languish over. And now they're mad about it. They're like, "Oh, you ate our soup." Well, I'm sorry, you weren't making anything, my dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this honestly sounds like sour grapes, and it sounds like they're going to try to bury this smaller studio with the weight of Nintendo's power. And I mean, hopefully there actually is justice in Japan. But I mean, I don't know, but I mean, it would be, laws be damned, it would be an injustice to let them get away with this on patent grounds. If it's after the fact, I'm sorry, that's no.
A lot of Japan,
Scarlet, there we go.
a lot of Japan is sadly on Nintendo's side for probably the reasons I mentioned earlier, where it's just that whole hive mentality and tribalism kind of thing. But
Well, I mean, I like Nintendo because they're the people that give me Legend of Zelda, but I will still say no, this is garbage, and
they've done too much at this point where I can't support them anymore, which really sucks because I was looking forward to that new Zelda game, but I'm not getting it now. Like, I'm not getting any more Nintendo products at all because they constantly are taking down ROM and emulation, by the way, which they themselves had to use to get some of their games back because they didn't have copies.
Yeah.
And then immediately turn around and go, "Oh, by the way, cease and desist."
Yeah.
Now,
I understand. I think that's not sharing, and it's not kind, and it's not cool, but that's not the same as
more.
this is morally reprehensible. The other thing is just being a greedy guts. This Pal World thing, that's a problem.
I mean, all the grains of sand make a heap, and that's why I said, like, I can't turn a blind eye anymore. They're so anti-consumer and so anti-competition that it feels wrong to support them at this point. For me, and everybody got to make their own decisions. Let me be clear. Like, I'm not going to rag on Meg if she starts streaming Zelda Wisdom, whatever.
Oh, you could. We could have an argument about it. It would happen. That'd be fine.
Fake beef. Okay,
oh, you think it'd be fake? That's cool.
Okay.
That's cute.
So
You're
the
a
other
guy.
controversy
We don't do that, girls. Girls don't
Scarlet
do
and Violet released, right?
What is it?
Scarlet and Violet, the newer Pokemon game. It released.
I don't care.
And this is kind of what it looks like outside.
Uh-huh.
It's an open world game, which is great. It's very sparse. And if
it looks kind of bland.
Close up to things, they don't look that good. However,
it looks like a cheap version of
when
Breath
you
of the
look
Wild.
at something like Breath of the Wild or Legends Arceus, it is so full of life, so full of stuff out there. Looks good, looks crisp, looks clean. And people looked at Pokemon and was like, Nintendo, what's up with this garbage? You can make Breath of the Wild happen, and then you give us like third-rate whatever the fuck this is. And that was its other controversy. So people have been upset with Pokemon and Nintendo for a hot minute over the last several games. And then, like you said, Power World comes in and says, hey, you like Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we ain't got the best of development team here, so we can't make things look like super great or anything, but we'll give you a gun to go with it.
Yeah, we'll make something that's fun. We'll make something that's innovative. And I think that really Nintendo just it's like the hot chick that keeps putting this dude in the friend zone. And then suddenly the guy decides, you know what, I'm just gonna go, the nerdy girl who's kind of cute decides to give him the time of day, and he starts going out with her. Now the hot girl's pissed. It's that kind of thing, It's just like you've been neglecting your customer base, and now somebody else came along and said, hey, would you like this? And they're like, I would like that, thank you very much. And now Nintendo's all kind of butthurt. They don't have another game that they're offering on at the same time.
Even if they were, it's called competition.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I understand being kind of miffed if you're like, that looks very much like my designs. As a person who actually does character designs and stuff, if somebody uses something very close to what you're doing, your feelings get a little hurt. You feel a little raw about it. So I
about it. Yeah, I get it.
I understand that, but the thing is that it's not one-to-one, and you cannot bottle like ideas that are abstract like that. You just can't. Yeah. Cute things exist. I'm sorry. Shibis exist. Hello Kitty existed before Pokemon, so
yeah, this is where it gets great, because if you read this patent, and it's hard to understand because of the wording, but read it a couple times and you realize they're talking about the reticule and the aiming mode that's in Power.
It's like aiming in Zelda Ocarina of Time or something. Anyway, abstract in a first mode, an aiming direction in a virtual space is determined based on a second operation input, and a player character is caused to launch. And the aiming direction, an item that affects a field character disposed on a field in the virtual space, based on a third operation input. In a second mode, the aiming direction is determined based on the second operational input, and the player character is caused to launch in the aiming direction. A fighting character that fights based on the third operation input.
That really sounds like it shouldn't be allowed to be a patent. That doesn't sound patentable.
It doesn't. So it does not seem like that should be a patent. It's an abstract patent type application, and it was filed in May this year. After Power World came out. This is literally just to try and destroy Pocket Pair.
Yeah,
it was.
And Nintendo has the money to do it.
Publications, I guess.
They bought people off. Like I ran into bots. I dropped this to Master TDS. He said he's going to look into it, but I'm almost positive that Nintendo bought bots to get public
opinion on side.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's not working because people are hip to the bots, though they got some good bots. It wasn't just May 876392468. It was like a person's name with a couple extra couple numbers or a couple extra letters. So the bots that they do have are good.
That's just no. That's that. I like, and the thing is, I like the product that Nintendo does. I don't care about companies. I don't want to care about companies. I don't want to hear about companies in general. I'm typically shut up and take my money. This is scuzzy. And it's gross.
Nintendo's been doing this for years too.
Well, I mean, this patent thing is just garbage, and that somebody's gonna try to allow this to go through is just ick. I
Well,
mean, whoever allows, if Japan allows that, their legal system will be a laughing stock.
Well, there's
I don't
another
know. Ours is right now at the top of that laughing stock totem pole. So.
there's a another route that this might take that some people have pointed out, and I'll just say it here. Nintendo isn't looking to win this this lawsuit or whatever. What they're looking to do is drain their-
resources. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're trying to destroy Pocket Pair.
Yep.
That's
and you know, where you say, what is it? The
Welfare.
law. Yeah, it's lawfare, where it's the process is the punishment.
Mhm.
I don't know though, man. It's just
Somebody should just look at this and laugh. I mean, the
I think
second
so.
this comes across any judge and they look at this and go, okay, so your game came out in February of this year. You guys launched a patent a few months later?
Yeah.
And now you're bringing them to court for infringing on a patent that didn't exist.
Yeah.
What's funny is
The fuck is wrong with you?
Well, hang on. Say this wins. Nintendo signed their own death warrant. You want to know
I
why?
think so.
Because Nintendo has stolen designs from what was it, Monster Rancher? Not Monster Rancher. Dragon's Quest, maybe. But yeah, Nintendo.
Oh yeah, there was comparisons between Dragon's Quest and Nintendo's Pokemon.
Yeah, so
as well, where Dragon Quest came out long before the actual Pokemon did. I mean, let's be real though. You know, Pokemon's got over 1,000 Mons. Of course, they're going to take some designs from somewhere. On top of that, a lot of the designs that people were trying to put together, like you take Anubis from Power World, you put it next to Lucario, they look strikingly similar. Guess what? They're also both based off of Anubis, the Egyptian god.
Yeah.
Who also looks strikingly similar to the two monsters. You know, it's just like
I guess Egypt
when you make a monster based off of a particular thing, they typically do kind of resemble one another. And it's like the whole Gyarados thing too, because there's that one from Power World that kind of resembles like the mega form of Gyarados.
Yeah.
And it's like, and both of those are based off of the Chinese dragon, which they both look strikingly similar to. You know, and the whole thing between like Gyarados and Magikarp is the whole, like, that is their story. Magikarp is the weakest thing out there, but then it grows into a dragon, which comes from a Chinese or a Japanese tale about a goldfish and a dragon. You know?
I didn't know that.
I can't remember who it was, but yeah, there's this old folk tale or something like. Anyway, where the fish turns into the dragon, and that's what it's an homage to. And Power World is using the same thing as a basis. And there's so many different monsters that do that sort of thing. It's like Nintendo has like multiple versions of monkeys at this point. You can only innovate on a monkey design so long before they all start to be similar to one another. And the same thing for, you know, horses and dogs. That's why we got things like ice cream cones as Pokemon now, which is ridiculous.
I hate that. So I just got to say real quick, we might have to end the stream.
Why?
Because I just got a letter from Nintendo about Meg's background.
Oh. Cease and desist from Nintendo. Damn it. Why? All right, guys. It's been fun. We'll see you later. Just kidding. We're here. We're here. Don't worry. We're not going anywhere.
Oh, man. But the scary part is I could see Nintendo legitimately doing that to Meg. Or trying to.
Yeah, that actually does seem like a Nintendo thing.
They have gone after individuals in the past. They just can't really because Rumble will give them the middle finger. But yeah,
wouldn't stop them.
I know YouTube would fold like instantly.
Oh yeah,
well, YouTube folds over just the craziest.
YouTube's a piece of paper. They just fold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
All right. I think we killed this subject then.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that we're back at it again, and that just infuriates me. It really
It
does.
just reminds me of that
And-
meme, the SpongeBob meme. How many times we got to teach you this lesson, old man?
And I am a Nintendo fanboy. I'm not gonna lie about that. I
I
grew
am
up with
too.
Nintendo. I still play Nintendo to this day, but this is scummy.
Yeah,
Still
I
scummy.
don't like this. The argument with the emulators, I can see
Oh
that
gosh,
one.
don't even get
I
me
don't-
started on emulators. Just nope.
I don't
We will
I
be
don't
here
like
for
it,
an hour.
but I understand it. It's the same thing that Disney does with their movies and stuff. But you know, if you make something, yes, you have a right to, you know, to basically say no soup for you. You know, if you made the soup, you can say no soup for you. I don't like it, but I understand that. But this is trying to ruin somebody for getting better, for doing something better than you and outfoxing you. And that's just take your L, do better.
They
And
might
that's it.
actually win this suit, by the way, Pocket Pair, because there was a public, like, from Nintendo's legal, they released a statement last time saying there was no case there. So they could point to that and be like, why is there a case now?
Yeah.
Again, they can just point to the date
That too.
and then the date they published and say, Judge, we can't infringe on something that didn't exist. This is bullshit. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
so let's segue into other failures real quick. All right. So, Concord. Another thing I didn't think I would be talking about again, but yet here we are. The game that cost $100 million to make. That
Way more than 100.
100 million that we thought that made about 1 million in sales. It sold roughly around 23,000 or so. It had no more than about 600 and some people on Steam at one time, and then had like double digits after the initial launch. A game that has universally been crowned the worst failure in gaming history at this point.
Said, hold my beer, I can do better.
Yeah.
Or worse.
It gets better.
Better for us making content, worse for them.
It's like, oh, you thought we were done. No, that you thought that was rock bottom. We brought dynamite, so
We can break bedrock in Minecraft. Give us a
Yeah.
minute.
About this is that Concord costs about $400 million.
Can you turn it up a little?
That is as high as I can get it.
Oh, dang. Sorry.
If you want to hear it, we'll all be quiet. But turn up
Well,
your
let me
browser
see.
volume.
Thing about
How's
this
that?
is that
Yeah.
Concord costs
Better.
about $400 million to make.
That there. Holy shit. $400 million
Yeah.
to make Concord. And the
You know, it
worst
doesn't
part
go as far as it used to.
The worst part is, I think PlayStation was literally banking on this to push
Mhm.
sales of the joke that is the PS5 Pro. How much you want to make a bet this was supposed to be their push for the PS5 Pro?
It was going to be their launch title.
Because-
that makes sense.
Because they had this thing where they were showing off the PS5 Pro, and I can't remember where I heard it, but apparently they cut a chunk of it out. How much you want to make a bet that bit that they cut out was Concord related?
Yeah. And I'll tell you this right now. It's game development's one of those weird birds where a lot of people are like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But in gaming and game development, you don't have a choice. You
Yeah.
basically have to do one project, then make enough money to finance the next.
Mhm.
And if you don't, just like in the movie industry, you don't have a next product.
But yeah, like they had controllers for this thing. They paid or I guess they paid for Amazon to produce an episode of a show that doesn't come out until December for this thing. They were going all in on Concord. And then they bought the studio, Firewalk, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Firewalk, I think, apparently had already put like 200 mil into the project.
Yeah, I think he talks about it in the video.
And then they put in another 200 mil on top of that because, like, in 18 months out from release, it wasn't ready.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you wanted to play the video or if you just wanted...
yeah, I can do that.
There's this term in product development, not only with games, but really with everything. You can like manufacture a tchotchke. You guys might have heard of it. It's called minimum viability, or a minimum viable product.
Which studios have been doing a lot of lately, especially the AAA, and they need to stop.
Yeah, that's base game, and then all of a sudden there are patches throughout the...
It was that one Call of Duty game or whatever it was where they were like, here's the multiplayer. The rest of it? Yeah, we're working on it. And then they finally released like the last bit of that entire game 3 months out before launching the next one.
That's just what you want, you know?
It's just like, guys, really?
These incomplete games, they're just...
It's Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite launching incomplete.
Yeah. Oh, I was pissed.
Oh.
And then they're like, oh, co-op might not come. And I'm like, the fuck you mean it might not come?
Which game was it that promised stuff and then said, never mind, we're not doing it? Oh, yeah, that's right. It was Blizzard and Overwatch 2. The whole reason to buy Overwatch 2 was because they were adding PvE, and in order for it to work, you had to purchase Overwatch 2 to properly play it, and then it barely came out with any, right? And then months, I guess like a year or so later, whenever it was, they were like, oh guys, by the way, we that PvP or PvE idea, we shelved that last year. We're not doing it. It's like, really, Blizzard? Are you fucking kidding me?
And here's the thing. I think class action lawsuits need to start happening when these companies do this crap, because they're promising a product and not delivering it. Like,
oh yeah,
like the
idea behind
oh, go ahead.
Okay.
This, or MVP. The idea behind this is that this is like what you're trying to achieve, and it's like once you cross this barrier, you feel comfortable selling it. It's not that it's the best it can be, or that it's what it's going to be by the time you launch it, because there's all sorts of extra stuff you do to it. But like, this is the minimum viability of the product. When the game had already had $200 million spent on it and was basically in an alpha form in quarter one of 2023, from that point until the game launched, Sony spent another $200 million on it. The scuttlebutt behind the scenes about Concord
real quick
is that
essentially what they did was they released the alpha, if I'm understanding that right.
No,
and then
the alpha was last year.
Yeah.
They didn't release it last year.
Oh, okay. No, just the way he said that, it sounded like he was saying that.
Yeah, but it took them 7 years to get to an alpha state.
Yeah.
7 years to get that trash heap to an alpha state.
The game was in a laughable shape when it was shown, and basically like when the alpha was ready to go, and they were kind of being like, we're ready to kind of get moving towards getting this thing out in the next year or two. It was in such horrible shape that Sony felt like they needed to spend that much money again. So, 200 plus 200 to get the game to the MVP status, not to the status of it being like a great game, to get it to just viability. And that at that time in quarter one, 2023, there was nothing done. Like, a major expense was having to urgently outsource much of the game to other studios to finish building the game out.
Wait, they outsourced it?
Yeah.
to other people to help.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did this money go?
Dude.
Because they didn't have any like A-lister stars soaking up this money. It's not like they had Robert Downey Jr. doing the voiceovers or anything.
So but when you're building something from scratch, it takes a certain amount of time and planning and everything like that. But when you're like riding your car down the street and something falls off and you have to fix it really fast, you don't care what it costs anymore. You will pay the premium because your car is about to blow up. So it seems like they had their schedule because they wanted this to at least be out in time for what is it? PlayStation 5 Pro.
Yeah.
Because they were really excited about having it on PlayStation 5 Pro, and they wanted it to have already been like a thing by then. So clearly they had a schedule that they had to meet. And if it was in such a bad state, it seems like they had to say, this company is not going, does either A, does not have the skill, or 2, does not have the time to get all of this stuff done in time.
Did anybody pick up on what he just put down though about
they were making accessories to sell
Yep.
for based on Concord.
What did you hear, Chad?
I heard that he just said that before they outsourced it, they didn't make any progress on the game for years.
Yeah.
That's when you fire that entire studio. I'm sorry, but
Wait, was it for years?
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like. Now, I'm not sure if they're saying that, if he's like saying, I don't know what that means. They didn't make any progress. What, did somebody die? Like, what happened exactly? I mean, these people weren't in like cryogenic state.
They were probably busy with DEI meetings. Let's be real.
To other studios to finish. A major expense was having to game to get it to just viability, and that at that time in Q1 2023 there was nothing done.
Quarter 2023, nothing was done.
Yeah.
Okay, so at least for a quarter, they didn't do a whole lot.
That's 3 months of getting a paycheck and doing fuck all.
I don't understand.
They had to
what that
listen.
means.
I know what happened. Their trash can robot needed pronouns, and they were fighting amongst each other which ones they were going to use for 3 months.
Now that could have been a thing. It could have been where they were trying to talk about their ideological shift in what they wanted to do, where they wanted to go with this. So, the actual technical work wasn't being done because they were talking more about the philosophical ideas behind it. Should we have pronouns? And I don't think that we should have women that are actually attractive. And there should be absolutely no white men. Well, okay, maybe we can have one white man. Okay, so yeah, going back and forth and arguing about that kind of stuff. So it's possible that that's what they were doing. I really do not know how you do nothing and get paid. Like,
I don't know how you could do that for 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think that, but Sony was super benevolent like that.
Sony, give me money.
I know, right?
I can do nothing for 3 months.
A major expense was having to urgently outsource much of the game to other studios to finish building the game out. And that 2 fundamental things were not worked on at all up to the point in which the game was shown in alpha. Onboarding, nothing about that. No, like there was nothing about how players get on, like how they make their character, all that kind of stuff, or choose their character and get there. And monetization, 2 very expensive, very specific and boutique things that happen to games like this. And so that's the first thing that I wanted to say, is that it's not only about the ongoing cost, which would be in the millions to keep the game going per month, but that the game cost about $400 million to make, soup to nuts.
I can't get over the fact that it costs that much.
Make it stop.
Make it stop.
That guy at the bottom
Mm-hmm.
is having the same reaction I am. He's like, what the fuck? Like, you can just see it in his face. He's like, this is insane. And what
I don't
kills
know
me
who
about
that guy
this,
is in the upper right, but he kind of looks like Chris Ray-Gun.
I don't know.
Anyway.
What kills me about this whole fiasco
Right.
is that dumb fucks online will defend this kind of bloat.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
just,
and that's the thing. It is bloat, probably.
yeah,
A lot of that money,
100%.
or a lot of the money on AAA budgets is due to fucking bloat. You got like Twitter X out here.
Oh, but we got to pay $70
You
fucking
know,
dollars.
Elon comes in, he cuts them by like 85% workforce, and it's working just fine.
And makes it profitable in
And
like
it's making
month.
it more profitable now because it wasn't beforehand.
No, it was
He cut
hemorrhaging
out
money.
the bullshit. I mean, sure, it still has its quirks or whatnot here and there, but he cut the staff by like 85%, and it's still functioning just fine. And a
Yeah.
lot of these game studios,
And now he's coming for the
they're
U.S.
like,
government. I'm happy.
shoot, who was it who just fired like 3% of their workforce? It was one of the studios, and it amounted to like 25K or 2.5K thousand or people. And it's just like, that's 3% of your workforce. Holy shit!
Microsoft.
Why are there so many?
Well, see, the thing is, though, remember, our country was doing pretty well. The world was doing pretty well economically a certain period of time ago, and that's when you see when things are going well and there's a lot of dollary dues, and someone says, "Hey, we should hire this," and you go, "All right, sure, we have the dollars." Incautious people will do that. So, like right now, things are getting tight, and all of a sudden, everybody starts going, "Do we really need that?" And the answer invariably comes back, "No." And you know what? Actually, you're doing less than you actually should be doing. You're doing 60% of an actual job. I need you to do 100% of an actual job.
Or
And so a lot
less.
of companies are seeing that. I mean, I'm seeing that at my company right now. We lost
I mean,
I want to say like 10 to 15% of our workforce in the last 2 months, because we had a new CEO come on, because we were basically bleeding out as a company, because we had a lot of VPs, a lot of people, like entire departments that were just not necessary. It's like, look, we don't have enough steady work for this. This should be a contractor sort of thing. You get a lot of bloat when you've got a lot of money, when you've got a lot of cash on hand, and you're not really concerned about that kind of thing. That's when you get people in there who will waste your time and waste your money. And it sounds like that's what happened. We got very inefficient people in these positions. And it didn't matter as much, though, because nobody was getting pinched, But now
Yeah.
that people are starting to
mean,
actually feel that pinch,
we
and
got
these
those.
and these games are starting to bomb, both of those things together, bad economy and games bombing, they can't afford this anymore. They can't afford to be
Which is
silly.
good, because maybe they'll make a
we got-
half-decent game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we got that rash of TikTok videos of all those ladies talking about this is a day
Oh
at the
my
work
gosh.
at Google.
Oh,
this
that
is
pissed
the
me off so
day
much.
at TikTok.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like, and then I wake up and I'm in the office by 10, and first we get our chai latte and our
Yeah.
cucumber water, and Manuel is here with fresh hot towels every morning, and then I
Yeah.
go to a meeting for 30 minutes, and then we're going to go up here and we meditate for an hour, and then here's the pool, and we're going to lounge out here and answer some emails, and it's just like,
And look, there's Tom over there internalizing his misogyny.
figures for that, and you effectively do nothing all damn day.
No.
Yeah. But I mean, and the thing is that this is what happens when you have a lot of money. You become a silly society. You become a silly company even. And yeah, we're just finding that that's not going to fly any longer, because we need people that actually do things.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this video is totally hidden. So I literally just
saw it
upload this
unlisted. That's why I thumbed it up.
just to confuse everybody.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Chad, to your point where you're saying maybe they'll make good games. Well, I think it that's kind of that in a paraphrase of the cycle. What is it? Hard
Good time.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically hard times make strong men make good times make weak men make hard times. Basically, hard times make good games. That's what we're gonna get.
They're
Because
going
people
to
are
go kicking and screaming into the night. What was that one developer's name, or what was she the developer of, who was all pissed off because her game failed?
Dustborn?
You're
I
gonna
don't
have
know.
to you're gonna have
That's
to
a-
put
that was
that down.
I think it was Concord's chick, and she was going on about how if this keeps up, there'll never be any games anymore,
Yeah,
or
it was
something like
Concord.
that.
Yep.
And it's like,
I think
no,
they
there
might have
will
been
be.
journalists though.
I mean,
No, it was artist on Concord.
yeah, and the lead artist or something.
Mhm.
And, it's like, no, there will be. We still have a backlog of fantastic games we can keep ourselves busy with.
Yeah.
But if companies want to stay afloat,
Mhm.
they're going to have to start making games that people like. And when they look at things like, how Helldivers started,
Mhm.
Space Marines,
Yeah.
Power World,
Mhm.
all these good games, Baldur's Gate 3 and stuff, and see
Meh.
what they did, they're going to have to go, we need to do what they're doing.
Yeah, and the thing is that they are going to have to step up their game so much more. Again, the same thing that went on with companies is the same thing that went on with we the consumers. We had a lot of disposable income. So we were like, you know what? Yeah, I could this game looks like it might be kind of interesting. I'm willing to risk 10, 20, 30, maybe even $40 on it because I have it. But right now, people are like, I'm worried about if I'm going to be eating ramen for the next 6 months. So I don't have a whole lot of dollar reduced to throw away on garbage. Your game better be really good, cannot miss, will cry myself to sleep if I miss it for me to actually put down the dollars to do it. This is actually a sacrifice now to purchase games. These are luxuries. And when you're worried more about practical things, you don't have time for luxury. You don't have the resources for luxury. So yeah, if you want people to part with their hard-earned money when they have precious little of it, you're gonna have to make it good. So all of these things combined, hopefully we'll get good games. But yeah, times will make for good games out of necessity because we're not going to buy nonsense. We don't have the money for nonsense. We're like, oh no,
Not
I
when they're
could.
talking about increasing prices yet again. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, if you don't spend 400 million on the game, you don't need to increase those prices at all.
Yeah, they're still in that mindset of when we had a lot in the time of silly money, and it's not that time anymore. They're gonna need to like move that aside. They got used to it. They got spoiled, and like children, they just didn't learn that. Oh yeah, the things have changed. The facts on the ground have changed. So we don't have those kind of dollar dues.
Exactly. So let's segue into a good game.
Okay. I know nothing about this, so I'm
Space
just gonna.
Marine 2 Warhammer
Okay.
40K. Why Space Marines 2 exec's YouTube comment became a lightning rod. The CEO of Saber Interactive left a controversial comment on Asmongold's channel. Oh, this is fantastic. Anyway,
What did he say? Like, I heard.
I'm hoping it's going to say it somewhere in here. Again, I can't remember where it was.
I know what he said. I'll be there in a minute.
Okay. Let's see. They're not going to quote him 100%.
Well, that's annoying.
Yeah, I had to hear it from somewhere else.
Oh wait. Is it further up? Let's see.
But he also see. A
Okay,
week ago,
so
YouTube Legendary Drops posted a video called Space Marines 2 as a reminder of what we lost, in which he praised the game for its gruesome combat, beautiful presentation, and celebration of Warhammer 40k world and lore. He tried to juxtapose it with modern games that are either live service hamster wheels or single-player experiences that feel narratively convoluted and full of bloat gameplay systems.
Mhm.
But he also talked about the game oozing with so much masculinity that I feel like I've been in a desert for the last few years.
It
And
has
how
been a
it has
wasteland
things
for
nobody
dudes.
wants to go near anymore, like for courage and honor and for brotherhood and for emperor, which of course is what drove a lot of people to Helldivers 2.
Mm-hmm.
Was those
For democracy.
there for managed
managed democracy.
for Super Earth. Anyway, managed democracy is best delivered through bullets, by the way. Legendary Drops went on to praise the limited banter among the characters, calling up the game's eschew.
Issue.
A shoe? Is that how that is? A
Yeah.
shoe?
Yeah.
Okay. Simple good and evil characters, more stoic dialogue.
Hmm.
The video didn't blow up until a few days later when Asmongold posted a nearly hour-long reaction to it, agreeing with most of Legendary Drop's point and elaborating on some points. The problem is not that modern games have complex characters. The problem is that their idea of complex character is a self-indulgent loser that doesn't have any charisma. That is absolutely right.
That is.
Fuck. That
I
is like
don't-
right on. Like Forspoken, for instance. Forspoken,
Ugh.
great concept. Could have been a good game.
Mhm.
Could have been.
And
They
yet,
even hired a consulting firm called Black Girls Gamer, whose sole purpose is to make sure that you don't stereotype black people in your games. Like, that is their creed, what they are built on. And what did they fucking do? Successfully stereotype the main character in the fucking game the whole goddamn time.
Yep.
It's like you had one fucking job and you fucking failed. What the hell? Anyway. Could have been a good game if they had gotten somebody else with brains to actually deal with the character.
The CEO also had said that he hopes that gaming returns to a point where they put fun and the player above essentially the messaging.
mm-hmm.
He said at one point, he continued. What is that? That is, I guess it's some, okay. Anyway, there are two steps that happen in both
This is a Kotaku article.
Yes.
Oh crap!
Yeah,
Let's just
you're
scroll
in for
down
a
and
good
see if
one.
we can find the quote.
Yeah, I want to find it too. It's got to be.
Oh wait, here it is. Further down, third paragraph.
Yeah, we don't need to read
Wonder
the whole-
World has particularly surprised anyone if it wasn't Saber Interactive's own CEO appearing to join the debate. Matt Karch, Matt, anyway, whose CEO, who co-founded the company in 2001, appeared to leave a comment on Asmongold's reaction video near the end of last week. Hey man, it begins. CEO of Saber here. I love your videos. When we signed the deal to make Space Marines 2, all I wanted was a throwback game. We had the chance to work on something which, by its nature, was old school. I can't even comprehend many of the current games that we play these days. They are too complex, too much of an investment. The comment continued.
Yeah, that's
supposed
the
to be
rest
the
of his
continuation here. Why is it fonted like this?
It's Kotaku. They're retarded. Moving on.
Anyway, we worked on Halo back in the day, and that game could be distilled down to the simplest of shooting loops. But it was entirely addictive. That is why we wanted to recapture. I hope that games like Space Marine 2 and Wukong are the start of a revision of time when games were simply about fun and immersion. I spent some time as the chief operating officer at Embracer, and I saw games that were made me want to cry with their overblown attempts at messaging or imposing morals on gamers.
Ugh.
We just want to do some glory kills and get the heart rate up. For me, that is what games should be about.
And he's
Right on.
Right.
Yeah, he's 100% right. What about that was controversial?
The interesting thing is, though, that every story that's going to have any weight to it will have an element of good versus evil, of us versus them, of you're doing something noble. Like if you're going and you're shooting up children, you're shooting up a school full of children, well, yeah, you're going to feel a certain sort of way about it. That's evil. And the audience knows that that's evil. The problem that we have with a lot of storytellers today, yes, they are full of their own consequence, but also they don't know what's good and what's evil anymore. You see the movies that they're putting out, and you're like, your morality is completely upside down, my dude. What are you doing? The characters that they have as heroes are at best anti-heroes. And even then, a lot of their morality is just backwards. So so they need to go back to something simple because they've gotten lost in their quote unquote nuance. And in so doing, they've lost the heart of it. Like if all of your nuance somehow makes it to where it's okay to shoot little Timmy in the face, I think that you've lost the plot. You know, all of your morally gray stuff has basically pulled you over to the dark side. All of
Yep.
your sophistication is worth nothing if in the end you wind up basically becoming a villain. Rant over. Sorry. I feel like I need to have like slashes. I'm done.
Slashes. Off. Anyway, a lot of people probably just thought that yes, Space Marine 2 rules. I miss couch co-op and not grinding battle passes. Yeah, that probably has a lot to do with it too, because we haven't had that in a long damn time.
I don't even try for battle passes because of how obnoxious I personally think they are.
But for a contingency of the anti-woke gaming backlash, it vindicates the idea that at least one of the scourges of modern gaming is overblown attempts at messaging and imposing morals. That's what you fucking do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's it. We don't need vindication that that's happening. It literally happens. Anyway, all this might have been easy to shrug off if not for a highly motivated ongoing harassment campaign against story consultants who earlier this year became the boogeyman responsible for every person of color and pride flag that shows up in a major game.
They are.
All right. I'm a pause. Okay. We're going to start with harassment campaign.
All right,
This is
begin
called
Meg rant and hello Dara.
Hey.
For $5.
Hey Dara, how you doing, man? And beware the moon.
Dashboard Norm.
Nomad. Hello people.
No.
Welcome.
Beware the
Nomad.
Moon sounds like a Blue Oyster Cult album.
Beware the moon. Beware the moon sounds awesome.
It wasn't a harassment campaign. It was a campaign of noticing. It was a campaign of paying attention
There
to what
was a harassment campaign. The
against
harassment campaign was against a Brazilian man for
Yeah.
listing their publicly available games that they worked on.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
where the harassment campaign actually
Well,
was.
he says that the harassment campaign was against story
I
consultants.
know.
The
They said that,
campaign-
but it was the consultants who started the harassment campaign.
Is it real quick?
It absolutely
Who wrote
was.
this?
Who wrote what?
Kotaku loser.
Kotaku. One of those freaks from Kotaku.
Okay, Kotaku is a company. Who?
Ethan
Gosh.
Gosh.
Thank you.
Yes, that freak. That loser. That absolute pissant.
Yeah, we had an app. Yeah, harassment campaigin is actually my
Where do
middle
I sign
name.
up? Oh, Rumble Condor. Hello, welcome to the stream.
Yeah. Wait.
Harassment campaign is my middle name. $5 Domo. Yeah, harassment campaign. That's right, everybody. Let's get geared up for the harassment campaign.
It's a family
How do
name.
you spell his last name?
I don't know. Jeez, Chad, making me go up here. It's Gooch. G.
Gosh, kind of like mock.
G-A-C-H. It's Cooch, like coochie, with a G.
All right, got it. Okay.
Ethan.
But I mean, the thing is that I like how they decide that they want to use quote unquote people of color and insert other quote unquote marginalized quote unquote marginalized human beings as shields and as basically, I don't know, sprinkles to add on so that they could say that they're virtuous. Well, we're not just upset about this thing, but because you went after the marginalized, now that makes us virtuous. That's what makes us so special. And I mean,
I got disconnected, guys. Are we still live?
We're still live.
Oh shit! Like I was like, "Hello, where'd everybody go?"
Oh, we've been right here, dude.
Circling. Okay,
I was having a fun little rant, and I just got to. I don't know. I'm done.
All right, continue.
No, it's just very annoying being constantly used as a shield for people who want to basically hoist people with my either skin tone or people who want to hoist up people who just have, I don't know, whatever quote unquote marginalized character trait they want.
Oh yeah, this dude is not on social media.
Oh, he
No, I'm
shouldn't
sure
be.
he was.
He probably is with a pseudonym.
Probably.
But yeah, to hoist people up like that as though this somehow makes you virtuous. We are used as props to bolster these kinds of complaints. So that way they can say, "Oh, you can't do that because you're being mean. You're being mean to the poor little weak people."
Hang on a second, Meg.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's
have to
rant.
start.
Thank
We're
you.
gonna have to
Someone
pay
frame it.
somebody to clip Meg's rants and just post them.
Yeah. Gio, shall you read the next dono?
Daramouthe with $2. Let's go hard to her ass.
Da, da, da.
See how that went.
I need to get a rim shot to put on my
Didn't-
soundboard.
You know, when you're speaking of asses, maybe not talk about rim shots. Just saying, you want to space that out a little bit. Just
Not at all.
yeah, just
Oh.
a little bit.
But here we go. There's an extra irony in Warhammer 40k game becoming the Crucible, given its openly fascist world building and
I
the
hate
fact that
everything.
the owners of it had to repeatedly remind the more toxic corners of the fan base that Warhammer is for everyone. It is absolutely not for everybody. Go fuck yourselves. I don't care what Game Workshop says. They're fucking wrong. You know why they're fucking wrong? Because they are doing things for these woke lunatics, these complete morons, that they are just completely fundamentally changing the lore of Warhammer. And I love it because they like to clap back and say, well, Warhammer lore changes all the fucking time. This is different than adding a fucking extra Marine to something or another unit to the game.
Yeah.
No, this is actual lore that was written and isn't exactly supposed to be changing like that, to the point that you've got something that is completely all men. Like, it is straight up like you can't have female space marines. Why? Because females die from the process. It's that simple. It's that easy. You can't have female custodies. Why? Because it's only men who go and become custodies. And what do? We now have female custodies, and they're butt ugly, because we apparently got to see a rendering of one recently.
Yeah, that was bad.
And that one, I don't know who it was who I was going on about with over at Twitter, and he's like, or I'm sorry, let me calm down for a second. Some chick said something about something, so he was, dishing on the chick, telling her she's ugly, and it's like, if you think a female custody is better looking than her, you're a fucking idiot at this point.
Another dono.
All right, another dono. $2 dono from Daramouthe. Kobe Bryant thought it was funny. I'm getting there.
He was mid rant, Dara. Just saying.
To the degree that Space Marine 2 doesn't impose morals on the player, in quotes, by the way. It only becomes the politics of the universe are so obviously bleak and abhorrent that regular people know to treat them as a grimdark fantasy rather than their hero's journey. No, because Warhammer 40k came out and there was already people going, why can't I choose a female Marine? Like, those posts came up, and then other people were like, those aren't real posts. They're just farming this, that, and the other. And, it's hard to tell what is actually real or not, because these are the same fucking people who said we needed female custodies and then praised the fact that we got female custodies when we weren't supposed to ever have female custodies because women can't be custodians.
Plus, they already have the was it Sisters?
Bye, Tara.
Yeah, they got the Sisters of
Bye,
Silence.
guys. Thanks for stopping
Use
by.
the fucking Sisters of Silence.
Yeah.
All right, see you, Dara. Have a good one.
I didn't mean bye. I didn't want to throw off your rant, but I did want to say goodbye.
Yeah.
But like, there are female-centric units in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they want to come in, they invade the space, they want to make it their own, and then they want to push everybody out. And what happens when you do that? You get fucking Concord. You get Dustborn. You get Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. You're right. Nobody's going to be there to fucking play it because they're all going to fucking go away and play something else. Anyway.
That's his in rant. Chad, do you have anything you want to weigh in on it?
Actually, it's funny because a while back there was a meme perfect for this that I was looking for, and I couldn't find it anywhere online. I don't know why, but it just disappeared for a while. But I found it again, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to
All
go
right,
ahead.
Phil. Well, thanks for stopping by anyway. Continue.
Up there. I'm going to be sending it on Discord here in a hot second.
Okay.
There it is.
In the meantime, I can talk then.
Okay.
So you felt that
It's
this
gonna be in
was
general chat.
that this was a grudging sort of admission that people are looking forward to and liking this game. When he started dropping in anti-woke, and then it just rapidly went down from there. And like this, the thing is that this dude's concern is not, yes, that is absolutely correct. This dude's
Yes.
concern was not the gameplay. I didn't read anything about the gameplay really in that.
No.
All I read about was basically how he feels about it now.
Yep. That's gaming journalism. It's not about the game. It's about how I feel about the game, and you got to ascribe to my worldview
Yeah.
instead of just telling us, "Hey, the game plays pretty well. Hey, there's a couple bugs here and there, but nothing game breaking." No,
Yeah.
they can't say that because that'd be actually journalism.
Oh, it would be useful. Like I literally just want to know what the game is about. Please tell me. You know,
I know nothing. I know nothing more now than I did when this article started.
Well, I do know that I probably
Other than I like the CEO.
yeah, I like the CEO a little bit, and you know, I mean about the game, no, but I do know that I feel more favorably about it, and if it does well, I'll be like, cool, because it pissed this guy off, and this guy is an insufferable twat waffle. So that's kind of all that matters to me at this point.
Yeah,
I mean,
apparently,
that's all
this
I get
guy
from
is
this.
pissed off though, just because the CEO of Saber was like, "Yeah, modern games suck ass."
No,
Well,
they
he didn't
do.
even say any. I
He didn't even
really
say it. Like, he was much nicer about it.
I thought he was gonna go so much. I heard about this and people were like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Okay." I wonder what he said. I'm reading this and I'm like, "This is so basic. This is like, I just feel like the games are too complicated." So I made a game that was simple because that's what I really, really like, and I think that's what gamers would like. Here, guys, do you like this? That's literally what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
guy
but-
said these are the kind of games I like, so we tried to make that kind of game because
But
we
we-
think that people would like it.
So put into perspective, how starved are gamers for actually good games that this was groundbreaking?
Yeah. Well, and how insulated and used to being pandered to are these kind of people that something this tepid would send him on this long rant about you know this about a harassment campaign that didn't happen and the anti-wokes and the chuds, etc. I mean, it's just this was tepid, honestly. It doesn't warrant more than like 2 paragraphs, if even that. I frankly think this was a waste of space. I mean, it's not like it went on paper, but still, I guess dude was just like rage typing.
It was
you know,
a waste of cyberspace.
it is.
That
All right,
adds
so let's
nothing.
move on then.
Oh, all right. So we've got.
I did wonder if it would
Age.
happen.
Dragon Age. We talked about it for a second. I was on the fence on it. Anyway.
Dragon Age, the
Nobody's on the
Fortnite,
fence
the
anymore.
Fortnite edition. Yeah.
The Velguard character's customization feature has been revealed. You can call yourself whatever the fuck that is. Lamborghini. Okay. And choose they, them non-binary pronouns. But that's not all. Players can now customize female characters' chest and add top surgery scars. Current fucking day shit. Now, when it comes to character creation, I'm going to go ahead and take a different approach here because I honestly don't give a shit. I really don't. As long as they have more than just that, because if you're going to actually have a robust character creation, you should be able. You need to fit as much as you can in there. I don't want to see 5,000 hairstyles for the female persuasion with 3 to pick from for men, because it's always the same thing. It's like bald, shaved, military cut, half balding, and long hair. And those are like the only men cuts ever when it comes to these things. Meanwhile, women have like 30 different choices.
Yeah, but this is kind of like going into a shoe store and saying, I want to have more men's shoes. It's But okay, so the thing is, having top surgery scars, whatever, having scars is not a problem to me. The problem is the way that they put it in. So go ahead and hit play, and we can talk about it at the back end
But
of
he,
it.
him, she, her, and they, them, and then your gender is man, woman, non-binary. Love that. Love the inclusivity. Top
Of course it does.
surgery scars are also included in this.
Okay,
for
hit
both
pause
her
here.
trans-
You see where it says top surgery scars just on or off? Why is that a thing? Like, okay, they should allow you to customize scars. Yes. They should basically be what kind of scar, how long do you want it to be, where do you want it to be? You could make your own top surgery scars. Fine. You should be able to have appendectomy scars if you want to. You should be able to have like dragon claw scars across your back or on your arm or wherever.
Yeah.
If you were able to do that, this would be no problem. But this is specifically top surgery scars. There's no other kind of scar. Appendectomy is an appendix scar is more likely for a person to have than a top
Oh.
surgery scar. Yeah, ditto, right? Who in this chat has a top surgery scar? None of us, but 2 of us, 2 out of 3 have appendectomy scars. Whatever. But I mean, so if they wanted to go the scar route, that's fine. I don't care. But you should have to make it. Just shouldn't be a toggle where they're like, oh, you know what? This is so common that we need to put this in here like a toggle as to whether or not you want to do it. It's ridiculous.
Here's what kills me. This is my rant time.
Go ahead.
I can't get a fucking hairstyle that fits me. But these freaks can get top surgery scars. But by the way, we know that's messaging because of what Meg just said about why can't you customize it? Why does it have to be a top surgery scar? Why can't you just make it? And then people are like, oh, surgery scar under there. That must be a top surgery scar. No, they specifically said top surgery scar. Do that backwards. And that means that they want to push that as this is what this is. There's no confusion on that. That way we get the messaging out. And honestly, I sent Zio a comic that really encompasses this whole thing. G Prime does great work.
He does. This honestly just feels like a fetish at this point.
It is. It's a mutilation fetish.
Alas, a character that represents me.
And non-binary rooks out there.
Let's see.
I absolutely was blown away by this. It's beautiful to see the inclusion in the game and to see yourself represented. But him.
Did anybody even see the scar on?
Not really, but the quality is kind of.
Yeah, the quality's kind of mid. You can see it if you zoom in. You can also bump up the intensity. The intensity here is on half. And the scar color is kind of I mean, it's in a place where there would be shadows anyway, so it's not super obvious.
Yeah, when it comes to scar, the only scars I usually choose is the one over the eye because I think it looks cool.
Yeah,
it's just the cut down from like the top of the eye to the bottom. That's like my go-to scar anytime you get to choose scars on a character creator.
Yeah, and
because my monkey brain says that's badass.
And the thing is that there are times where you're just kind of like, oh, a cool scar because it's got a story behind it or something like that. They don't have C-section scars. Why isn't that a toggle? I mean, that's a thing, right? I mean, this is clearly a fetish. This is something where they're like, these scars somehow mean something about me and blah, 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 blah. No, scars tell a story about what you did, what happened to you in your life. They don't define you. You're in a magic world. Why is this a thing? But if they allowed you to make scars wherever, that's one thing. But only having one type of scar that is very specifically pointed out, and it's an on-off button. It's strange.
Well, what this honestly tells me though is when your go-to thing for your game is look at how we're inclusive by including this particular thing.
Mhm.
It usually tells me your game is going to be shit.
Yeah.
Because Sims 4 did the same thing, right? I love me some
Mm.
Sims.
Yeah.
People have been complaining about the Sims 4
Hmm.
for a very long time. And it was getting to a head where they were just all of a sudden out of nowhere, they did the whole Blizzard gay defense, but
Mhm.
with top scars instead, top surgery scars.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, we've included this. Look how inclusive we are. And it's just like, really, guys, that's what we're going with? Because, you know, The Sims has watered down its experience to the point that the second Sims game, the base game, before any expansion, has more features than the base game of 4 and 3 combined.
Yeah, I'd
I
love to.
And now you have to buy a lot of this stuff in expansions that are like $40
Mhm.
and even then they don't include things like Sims 4 included like some, or the Sims 3 had an expansion that included like werewolves, ghosts, vampires, magic, that sort of thing. The Sims 4 had magic and vampires for their version of that expansion. It's like, where's the rest of it, guys? What the fuck? And they were just like, oh, we added top surgery scars. How awesome is that? How great are we?
Yeah.
It's like, thanks, guys. You can
Yeah.
go fuck off now.
Yeah.
But it's when you point to things like that, because Concord did the same thing. We have pronouns for all our characters and stuff, and it's like, your game is shit, isn't it? It's going to be a shit game when that
Because
is
you
your top
focus on
seller.
this instead of the game.
Yeah.
And I want to say this real quick before we go on.
Mhm.
The only way they can save this is if they have the Joker come out and go, "You want to know how I got these scars?" And then they flip to top surgery.
Yeah. I don't know why there aren't more scar options. That's the thing. Like these are the only scars that they have that
Because
are
they want to
checked.
emphasize the message.
Yeah, this is fetishizing this
Yep.
sort of thing. And the thing is that there are plenty of fetishes that are out there, including around scars. Like Zio loves a scar across the eye because it's cool.
Monkey Brain says awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My
Awesome.
monkey brain says it's cool. Okay, you're right. Anyway.
Cool and awesome. Okay,
Yes.
it's all of the things. But
Anyway,
this is the only thing that it has.
Yep.
Like these are the only scars that actually matter to these people. This is the whole video. I don't know if you really want to go through it. It's very,
Oh, that
very
looks
long. And
horrible.
this person is
yeah,
cringe
it's
AF.
bad, dude. It is bad.
Like, I haven't really watched any of the gameplay or anything
didn't see
outside of
this
the
either.
initial trailer.
I
My
would
God,
say
what
leave
the
it
fuck
on
is this guy right here?
leave it on quiet and just play it at like twice the speed so you can just kind of see what she's going through. This person. Yeah, it's
Oh, that is.
You
that's
slowed it
not
down.
down.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I wanted to
no.
last
Let's
longer.
zoom through this, dude. No.
Sorry,
Don't
I
prolong
missed
it.
like the wrong way.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was an elf. Wait a second. I can go back. That's an elf.
Sort of. Yes. Yeah, barely.
Also supposed to be tall.
A halfling.
Yes, I know.
I mean, I get that that's probably a halfling, but that's like the size of a fucking halfling.
That's the size of a woman. That's the size of a normal woman. See the size of a human man.
Okay,
That's the size of a
that is
human
not
woman.
an elf. Elves are taller than that.
I
They're
thought
about
I
to
think
so.
playing as an elf.
But I mean, this honestly looks like Fortnite. I mean, I've never really liked the aesthetic of Dragon Age. That's why I know that this isn't Dragon Age because this looks cuter. This is very cute. It's like if Pixar and Fortnite smacked Dragon Age upside its head. You know, that's what this is. You know.
maybe there's a height slider somewhere. That's the only way. Oh, this is familiar. The triangle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
look at
that kind of is what it is. I mean, the thing is that it's that, and then there was another option for skin where you can choose whether or not you have vitiligo. It's not a joke. I'm serious. I think it might.
Okay.
You
Is that the spots?
yes,
Oh, okay. Just double checking.
yeah. You can choose whether or not you have you have yeah. Okay, right there.
Oh,
Vitiligo intensity and amount.
Huh.
That's a thing.
What is vitiligo?
It's
a skin
the
disease.
skin condition.
You know when you see people who have patches of color on their skin? Yeah, that's what it is. They've
mean,
decided I mean, and the thing is that in and of itself, it is what it is. But I'm just like, this is again part of this choice. Oh, I hear me again. What happened?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Huh? Yeah. Why am I hearing me? What happened? I
have
changed
no
no
idea.
thing.
I have
We're
no
echoing.
idea.
Fix it.
Well, I haven't done anything to make you echo.
Huh?
My thing's still sitting where it's supposed to be.
Did you unmute something?
No.
Both Chad and I have echoes on us.
Yes.
I have no idea.
Well, fix it.
I'm trying, but I can't find anything to fix it. I haven't done anything. Are we echoing through Chad's mic, maybe?
No. We're both echoing, you dunderhead.
No matter which one of these you pick, it will default
Are
to
you
the vest.
going now?
So keep that in mind. If you choose this underwear, for example, but later on you turn the nudity off, it will default to this one. So this is much of a muchness. This is a personal preference. You can choose
Yes.
the undergarments.
We
that you
both
want.
are.
Body type. Let's talk about body type.
I have no idea.
I was saying, we're both echoing, you dunderhead.
No matter which one of these you pick, it will default.
I have no idea. I don't know what has caused the echo.
Mute the tab. Right click on tab. Mute tab.
Mute tab? Why would I mute the tab?
Are we
fix
possibly coming through?
I don't have a
StreamYard?
mute tab button anywhere.
That's our standard now. I'm brave.
Well,
Hey.
It is.
Wait, we're not.
Yeah, echo's gone.
yeah, I muted my screen share.
Huh?
It's been fine the whole time, so I don't know what's causing it.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, she got very
Oh,
excited
and the bulge
about playing
size.
with the bulge size, of course.
Nope, go back. Let's see that bulge. That is weak.
That is.
There's an
It's very
ass
weak.
slider too. Did
Yes.
she show the ass slider any?
Oh, of course not.
Oh.
But one of the clips that I did drop into the salt mine did deal with the slider on the glutes because
Well, to be honest, if it's anything to do anything like the bulge sides, it is a weak slider. It's not even worth having at this point.
Yeah.
So the thing is that the slider on the female form is really, really weak. And I was like, maxed out, you almost have my shape, basically. And I am very medium sized.
I don't even think it looked medium. That looks like I'm not a woman, so I can't really dictate, but I do have moobs. So I'm like, that looks like an A cup.
That is but full maxed out. Absolutely not, sir.
There's no ass
Absolutely
there.
not. I know that. I'm like, no, that's not. Absolutely not.
That is not an ass.
No.
The chest size is almost maxed out.
Yeah.
That is not a. That is
No.
an A cup.
That is an A cup, y'all. And I'm like,
so you're telling me the most I could do is give her an A cup and no ass.
yeah.
But you can give her a bulge.
Well, the bulge wasn't much of anything either.
I
Well,
know.
no, there's a
It's
bulge
almost like they
option.
didn't try.
It's like here's a slider. It barely does anything.
What was
Enjoy.
that? What was that in that video where the guy was saying when a game is ready for release, what's it called? I can't remember now.
I don't remember the term.
MVP.
No, before that.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but yeah, it feels like that. Like
It's good enough to go out, not completed though. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically minimum viability or something like
minimum,
Yeah.
yeah,
MVP.
minimum viability. That's what this is.
Yeah, at least there's hairstyles.
that. Well, it's just that you can see what their choices are and what they value.
I'm doing credit on the hair. The hair actually does.
The hair looks good. The
Yeah.
hair looks good. I'm not even mad about like the character faces or anything. I'm just I just see what they're trying to push onto society. I see what they're trying to push into and try to quote unquote normalize, and I don't like it. I
Yeah.
think that it's a choice, and I think that it's bad. I think that they're trying to make something good that's not. They're
That's
going
not
to
good.
try to put as much debauchery as they possibly can into it,
They try to
and do
normal.
the tee-hee wink sort of thing. I
Yeah,
don't
they
like
try to
it.
normalize mutilation, and that is horrifying to me.
Yeah.
Body tattoos. Hey, they
Yeah.
got tattoos
And
for everything.
And then they have a whole bunch of tattoo options, and that's fine. Whatever.
That's
you know.
actually pretty impressive. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
The only thing is, though, like, okay, I want. She probably won't show it, but I want to see the short hair because people can do long hair pretty easily these days. The short hair is where it still looks like it's just a painted on mess.
Well, they do have other scars, so there's that.
They have face scars. I didn't see them have body scars. Oh no, it does say scar shape right there. But I mean, it's just a toggle, and it's so weird to have like that specific toggle. It's very, very bizarre to me.
See, they could have even hidden it better by putting it in the list of scars, but
put it in with the other scars. It has its own separate toggle. It is out amongst the other things. Hey, this is important. Decide.
Yeah.
Like it's just weird.
Doesn't look that great either.
No, it don't. Like it's overall the quality is meh.
And that's the thing. I think it looks cute. I like it, but that's the thing. I'm a girl, and I like cute things. That looks like if Pixar and Dragon Age had a baby.
Ugh.
That then went to Berkeley for like 5 years. But yeah, this is the person who was
right here.
Yeah, let's see, who was he?
You see, they're already locked up. They're already hug boxed.
Oh yeah.
You know they hug boxed.
Queerosexual gendermancer. Yeah. And the thing is that you're basically someone who's going to push debauchery as much as possible.
Yep.
You know.
That's a new word.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All of their life and existence is basically about pushing this sort of deviation.
Yeah, this is the other thing that I don't get.
Sigh.
It's the whole body type 1, body type 2. If that's the only two choices.
Why can't
it's like why don't you just call it male and female?
Yeah,
it's
and
still
then
the
there's
same thing.
Why can't body type 2 wear this armor? Oh, because that's female armor.
Well, it's body type 2 armor or body type 1 armor.
Well, no, that's actually a thing that happened. I forget what game, but yeah.
No, there's something. Indian ones more. Oh, yay.
SBI. It's like you can almost you can just see their hand on it. Yeah, that's the vitiligo right there.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, that's a birthmark.
No, that's a birthmark.
Yeah, but I mean, you can put on birthmarks, and you can also have vitiligo. So basically, you could give yourself a skin disease of some sort.
Yeah, because when I think fantasy, I think skin disease.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If people
play
have
fantasy to escape the real world, I don't exactly want to put myself in a wheelchair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that they give you the option of a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
But you can also give yourself cellulite, so that's cool. I like how
that should be it.
I like how
we need to go on the offensive and ask why I can't put my character in a wheelchair.
Yes, absolutely. I just
make all dungeons wheelchair accessible again.
I just like how they're fetishizing, all of the things that are in the real world. Like, we should say that it's wonderful. No, dude,
listen,
it's not.
I'll eventually remember where my button is eventually.
Like, cellulite exists. It's not great though. Nobody's gonna be like, oh yay, I'm super excited I have cellulite. No, it's just loving yourself doesn't mean that I think that everything about me is fantastic. You know, there are things about there will be things about yourself that you don't like, but loving yourself actually includes saying this is a thing about me. You know, it could be better, you know, or I could have, you know, I could have cooler hair or something like that, but I don't. But I'm okay with that because I love me. And I'm not all my hair or something.
Yeah. And if you don't love you, and
Yeah,
if you
that's
feel like you're
right.
born in the wrong body, maybe see a psychologist.
Yeah, you should.
Or-
Well, you need to accept that which you are. You cannot love something if you do not accept it. If you're trying to change it, you don't actually love it. You want it to be something else so that it can be lovable by you. I think that's the end of my rant. I think I'm done.
Make gender dysphoria great again. Like, as in insane asylums. But anyway.
As being put back into the DSM, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to remember. For the life of me, this past day, I was trying to remember what the name of that psychological publication was. Was it VDSM?
DSM.
DSM. That's it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Make DSM great
BDSM is
again.
a anyway. Never mind.
Next one?
Yep, next one. So Twitch has apparently decided that it is going to be more transparent when it bans people now.
I got a theory about that, by the way.
I don't really have a theory other than the fact that they're not going to be that transparent. But in light of all the VTubers who continuously been getting banned because somebody hates VTubers because they're out doing their IRL whatever's thoughts.
Yeah.
Twitch has apparently decided
First
that now, near the end of 2024 to 2025, this is the year that we will now be more transparent. And if they actually follow through with this is actually a pretty good thing. I'm not going to lie. It's just whether or not they
There's
actually
details
do it.
on that, by the way. Apparently, now they're going to give a reason, which why would you not? But we get a reason for bans, and if it's a chat ban, they give a reason for that, like what you said that was wrong.
In chat, an excerpt from the messages will be sent to the user in email. Streamers will be sent clips of their violations so they understand why they are banned. Streamers and chatters will be able to appeal. They say that all the time, but then they don't let certain people appeal anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is that I think that that's actually a good thing. If you want people to actually use your freaking platform and not just live in this sort of perpetual terror, the thing is that if you want people to not do a thing, you need to tell them that when they mess up, you know, when they step over a line. If they don't know where the line is and it's all nebulous, they just live in fear. Now, maybe, and I think that YouTube kind of gets off on this, like basically having it nebulous so that people self-police and that they go way back from where they should. They pull back on words like, oh, I don't know, killed or something like that. Because they're like, I don't know, I could get banned for that, you know. And it's like, I don't think that that's the thing, but they're so scared because they don't know where the line is.
Yeah.
And so, but if you want people to actually stay on your platform and actually be free and actually do their best work, you don't want them in a state of perpetual terror. And you also want them to know when they mess up so that they don't do it again. This is the way to not get repeat offenders. But I don't believe them, but sure.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, like I said, you know, this is a good thing if they actually follow through with it, because right now the thing is you get banned.
Mm-hmm.
And then you may not know you're banned. You may find out through Twitter or something else, depending on how big you are, that you got banned. And then after you've like yelled at Twitch support, you get an email saying you violated something, right? And you're like, where, when, how? Like, I'm pretty sure I didn't do the thing. You got to be more specific, and they never are. And YouTube and Twitch are bad for that. They're just like, oh, you violated our terms. And then they never get into any specifics. They never can bring in anything. And this is something that all platforms should honestly adopt.
Yeah, actually, I think even Rumble should adopt that.
Because if you're going to take the time to ban somebody for, you know, an offense, but then never actually tell them, and, you know, like what it was saying on YouTube, you're tiptoeing around 15 different words because there's like a lexicon of things you can't say. where you
290
automatically get
words.
demoted. You get demonetized. You can't get any visibility. I mean, we've probably said the words more times than I can count. Which is why it doesn't get seen on YouTube half the time.
I mean, there was about 290, 320 around that range of words that YouTube either bans, demote, etc. It got leaked in a spreadsheet.
But the problem is it changes too.
That-
It's never a consistent thing, because what is okay now, 6 months from now, suddenly is a banned term for whatever reason.
I mean, I'm banned.
Like,
You are?
No,
the Chad.
not my channel, my name.
Chad is banned. It's a
Why?
banned term on YouTube. You're not supposed to say Chad. It deranks you if you do.
It deranks you. So I will never be successful on YouTube for that reason.
That's so stupid. This is that you remember that overcorrection that you guys were saying killed Helldivers?
Yeah.
This is the same thing. This is
Yeah.
that overcorrection. The only thing is that because YouTube was the only game in town for so long, and so many people are just addicted to it.
They're
Because they
starting
do-
to
It's
kill
also
they're-
on default on every device, but yeah.
But I mean, their algorithm is fantastic though. Like their For You algorithm that kind of curates things and says, "Oh, we found videos, and we'll send them out to you."
Yeah, they got
Rumble's
caught
getting better at it,
too.
but YouTube's is pretty dang good. Like I keep trying to get my husband to use Rumble, and he'll try. Bless his heart, he'll try for a while, but then he's like, "Yeah, okay, but I want to discover something new," because he's all adventurous.
They're actually recently dropped an update that is working on that algorithm so that the For You is adaptive. Because before they didn't have anything.
No, they had nothing. So it's much better. It's much better. So he can use it for a little bit longer.
He might get better results. He might not get amazing results because you can't recommend what ain't there.
That too.
Good Lord. I've talked to people that have been more abused by YouTube than a freaking bad person relationship. But they still go right back to YouTube, and I'm like, why? That makes no sense. They are literally using you for borderline slave labor. But I want to say this real quick.
Go ahead.
I don't think Twitch is going to enact this at all. I think this was their legal team, because these VTubers that have been getting slammed with bans, they have legal teams. They make the money that they can have legal teams, and a lot of them do. And a lot of them that got banned have posted, I had my legal team reach out to Twitch, and I was like, oh, this is what this is. Like, this is what this post here is. This is, please don't sue us.
But yeah, a lot of those VTubers, especially the bigger ones, they definitely have they're part of some kind of team or this, that, and the other, and they've got like a couple of big ones that one of them, Deezy Sanzi, I think is what it's called, where they're constantly in trouble because of how they handle their VTubers, or don't handle their VTubers, I guess. Yeah. But they've got their own problems. But yeah, they have their own legal teams and lawyers and stuff. And whoever it is who has a vendetta against them at Twitch is probably sweating at this point, because if they're getting involved that way, this could be interesting.
Yeah.
But all platforms should definitely adopt this sort of thing here, because it would be great if you can get a clip and say, here's what you said, and you can't say that.
Yeah, this is why you were doing that. Please don't do that anymore. And I mean, there's some people that I still watch on YouTube because that's the only place they exist. There's this reviewer that I like, the Little Platoon, and I remember he was trying to upload some video, and his videos are just these long video essays on why some such and such is either good or terrible. And we're talking like 2, 3, 4 hour video. It's pretty mad, but that's the kind of that's my jam. So he went through, I want to say like 10 iterations with one video where he was basically in re-upload hell trying to figure out what exactly it was that was triggering their no box basically, and it wasn't being
and
allowed through.
There no
it
box.
And he had
re-uploading too much can get you in trouble.
he had no idea. Poor dude. I was just like, oh, that's terrible. I was like, this is, and I mean, he's he's the dude who's trying it out. Like he was like, I'm gonna try to make the full switch over to this, and I'm like, and this is what happens. Like this isn't just inconsequential stuff. This isn't just, oh well, now you can't go to this basketball court on Tuesdays. No, people make their living off of this. This is entire livelihoods. This is awful, really, what they're doing and the way that they're playing around with this. And these people act like it doesn't actually matter. That's it.
But yeah, speaking of which, you got VTubers getting, pegged. And this is what you pretty much see. Your account is suspended. If you think this is incorrect, you may file an appeal here. Now, also, on top of that, you have to keep in mind that a lot of the times when you do the appeals process, it kicks it back almost instantaneously, saying, nope, can't be done.
And then they also have a thing that says if you try to appeal too much, spam appeal, they can just ignore you at that point.
Yeah. That abuse of our appeal process or attempting to evade restrictions placed on your account may result in additional penalties. If you would like to appeal a DMCA notification, please blah, blah, blah.
I like how they don't even give you a way to appeal DMCA. It's just a guideline.
This is it. Indefinite suspension, sexual content. Doesn't say where, doesn't say how, doesn't exactly, explain what it was you did. But on top of that, you've got a 7-day suspension here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's now an indefinite suspension for the same thing.
Yeah.
And since they never properly explained what it was that was, the sexual content was.
I heard it was largely because of the their bus being very.
I would say it has something to do with their model.
Yeah,
and because they can't tell them why, then you wind up with repeat offenders. But I mean, if this is what we're looking at, see that, especially not in this model.
Yeah, but
maybe
if
they're
you
different
outfits. You
outfits.
probably see a more provocative version. I would.
Well, possibly, because a lot of these VTubers do have different models, different clothing, outfits, things like that.
Okay, so that one just said like live 18 plus ASMR. Blah, 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 blah. So it might not even be the model.
Which is a setting that Twitch has. Like Twitch made an 18 plus thing for that stuff. And then you still get banned over it. And it's like, Twitch, you enabled this.
Yeah, that's
you should get banned for that. I don't really know much.
Don't get me wrong. I hate that they embrace the sexual content, but now they're embracing it at the same time banning it.
Yeah, just if you don't like it, dude, just don't allow it, and that's fine. Just
like
tell people what they can't do, though.
Content classification, sexual themes. Okay, what the fuck does that even mean?
I don't like this vague language. It's very annoying.
I can understand getting banned because Twitch also polices you off platform, and Kofefe posts a lot of nudes type stuff.
Yeah.
On Twitter or on Twitch. So, but yeah, that's also the other thing is Twitch polices off platform stuff, which is something we rang the alarm on, back when they announced they were going to start doing that. And it's like, no, guys, speak up now. It's going to hurt you down in the long run, which is also another thing because you could be sexual themes and it's not anything they did on Twitch. It's because they posted something that was more sexual on Twitter or something, right? And that's a completely feasible thing. And because they're not going to say sexual themes on X or anything, they're just like sexual themes. It's like, okay, where and when? Can you be a little bit more elaborate? It'd be nice if they sent a screenshot of a tweet you posted so you can say, oh, and then maybe it will actually get these people to understand, because this is everyone on Twitch. That, by the way, Twitch polices your off-platform shit too. They say it in their TOS. When that bell finally gets rung for these idiots to realize, not calling all VTubers idiots or anything, but they are, because nobody realizes that that's a thing that Twitch can do. Maybe that will get reversed when everybody starts kicking up a stink going, what? Is this why I keep getting suspended for 7 days or 3 days? And of course, if it was an IRL streamer, they'd get suspended for like 2 days and be back in one. But VTubers don't get that luxury.
Oh yeah, that's and
if you want to have a good relationship with your creators, don't do this. But I think that they're cocky because they believe that they're the only game in town.
Well, here's the thing. They also, YouTube has Google / Alphabet money backing them, and Twitch has Amazon.
I have watched Twitch maybe twice, and both times it was to watch. It was when the depth trial was happening, and I wanted to watch Asmongold's reaction because I just thought it was funny. But I didn't care for it, and I've never really seen it pushed anywhere. So
yeah, that's the thing, is
it might be kind of niche. Yeah.
I don't really like watching live streams that often, and it's funny because that's pretty much all I do. But honestly, I would do videos if they were more popular on Rumble / I had time to edit. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where like there's competition coming, which is why I think we're seeing these changes also. I think it's one, legal reason, but two, I think Rumble is actually making headway, and I think that these bigger companies are starting to notice. I mean, they noticed way before, but I think they're starting to actually look at, okay, what can we do to make sure that Rumble cannot.
Yeah, the thing that pushed me over to Rumble was not their stellar GUI. It absolutely wasn't. It was because of the fact that I was so tired of YouTube shenanigans. Not even as a creator, but actually as a viewer. I was like, you know what? I am tired of seeing COVID-19 little informational packet of nonsense at the bottom of a video just because somebody mentioned Le Couf.
Oh, you know what drives me absolutely up the wall?
What?
So I watched I watched Markiplier. I don't anymore, but I watched like Vanos Gaming, Terrorizer, Dahi Denogo, basically the whole Vanos crew. And if you look at one of their like Gmod videos from like way back in the day, they would say some off the rail stuff that was hilarious. But now they're like, wait, you can't say that in the first 5 minutes, and gosh darn it. And I'm like, huh? Like, you're again, like we said earlier, self-censorship.
Yeah.
It is beyond moronic that you would stay on a platform that forces you to adopt that mindset. I will never, if Rumble tomorrow came up with something like that, my channel would be shut down. I would be like, nope, we're gone. It was a good run.
Yeah, that's fun.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah,
Like,
it was between that and also just the way that they were treating the creators that I liked. They were banning them. They were giving them a hard time. They were demonetizing them. And I was like, you know what? If possible, I'd like to not give you my money.
Yeah.
The same thing with Amazon. I mean, you can't completely decouple from everything, but as much as I can, I would like to do that.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go out of my way to find out every shady thing that a company has done, though. So I'm going to be like, I'm going to basically just sit in my room and stare all the time at this point. So I'm like, just don't tell me who you are. I don't care. I just want the product. I just want the thing. You're just the middleman. Please shut up. Like,
Yeah.
Stop making me have to have thoughts about you. I don't want to think about you ever.
Yeah, Nintendo really shot themselves in the foot with that one, I think.
Ugh, that's so grody. I'm so mad about it.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so it is that time that we end the night.
Zio's turning into a pumpkin.
That's right. I turn into a pumpkin, and oh wait, Chad doesn't work tonight, so
No.
Chad will do something else maybe.
I'm gonna relax and pick it up tomorrow. We're gonna have an extra long stream tomorrow.
All
What
right,
are you
so
playing?
everybody's links are down in the description down below, so you can go follow all the stuff. We're going to have a raid. I think we're going to raid somebody.
My
Okay.
plan tomorrow, Meg, is to
haven't decided.
hire people to work in my supermarket.
What
like
game is
Doodle.
this?
It's actually, I think it's just called Supermarket Simulator. 1 second. Supermarket Together. What it's
Oh,
called.
very
Market
cute.
together.
And it's free.
Okay. And what time are you going to be playing that?
When I
For the
wake up.
viewers at home.
When I wake up. Probably around anywhere between noon and 5 p.m. will be a start time. I'll announce it when I wake up, and but you can follow me and get notified as soon as I set it up. But I'm trying to get Doodle on there, and if you want, you're welcome to join me. I know Zio has to work, and once Zio gets off, I'm going to switch to Helldivers, and we're going to play that to try.
We're going to check out Helldivers. But
See if it's still ruined.
Well,
No,
they
actually,
apparently did
there's
some
been a lot
buffing,
of good
so
news.
we're going to go
A lot
take a
of
look
good
at it.
Really? Dang, we should have talked about that, guys. We would have had a little bit of
It's
sugar in the
I
mind
put in
today.
the salt mines, and Zio didn't click on it.
Yeah, it was on my list. We just didn't make it that far. Anyway, with that said, I'm going to hit this raid button, and we're going to go raid Dara.
Oh, cool.
No, you.
Oh.
Very fun. Let's go raid.
Always.
Fun. Oh, yep. Here we go.
He's talking smack over there. Anyway, we will see you guys in the next one. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Bye.
Bye.